Every so often, a new name shows up in the corner of a Pokemon card, and most of the time, you don't really think twice about it. But every once in a while, you see the art first and the name second, and something about it just feels familiar, like you've seen the style before, a long time ago. And that's Uni Norori, one of the newest illustrators in the entire Pokemon TCG, making art that feels like it traveled here straight out of the 1990s. So today, we're talking about Uni Norori, and this one's a little different from some of the artists that we've covered, because Uni Norori is new, really new. Their first official Pokemon card came out in 2024. So we're not looking back on 30 years of history here. We're watching an artist right at the very beginning of what could be a very long career. And honestly, that's kind of exciting, because most of the time, we meet these artists after they're already legends. With Uni Norori, we're meeting them right as the story is starting. But here's the thing that makes the story so good. By the time most of us learned the name in 2024, Uni Norori had already been chasing this for years, going all the way back to 2018. Uni Norori was already submitting artwork to Pokemon's official illustration contests. If you don't know what those are, they're basically open competitions where artists from all over send their own Pokemon artwork, hoping to get noticed. Thousands of people enter, very few ever get chosen. And for years, Uni Norori was just one of those names in the pile, submitting, waiting, and trying again and again and again. And I think about that a lot, because it's easy to look at a finished Pokemon card and forget that there's a real person behind it. Somebody who spent years drawing with no guarantee any of it would ever pay off. 6 years. That's the gap. 6 years between knocking on the door and finally getting that first official card. And when it finally happened, it was not quiet by any means at all. Uni Norori's first card was Grotle from the Scarlet and Violet Temporal Forces back in 2024. Now, Grotle isn't exactly the flashiest Pokemon in the world. It's a mid-stage grass starter. The kind of card that a lot of people would just flip past. But people didn't flip past this one, because this Grotle had attitude. There was this energy to it, this personality, that you just don't usually see on a Grotle. Pokemon themselves even pointed it out, describing the card as surprisingly full of life. And that's kind of the whole Uni Norori thing in one card. Take a Pokemon you've seen 100 times and make you feel something new about it. So let's actually talk about the art, because this is where Uni Norori really stands out. The best way I can describe their style is nostalgic. Their work has this look, this feeling, like it came straight out of the manga and anime of the 1990s. And that's not just me saying that. Pokemon's own website described Uni Norori's art exactly that way. That 90s energy, the bold colors, the dynamic poses, that hand-drawn expressive feeling. And the more you look, the more you start to see where it comes from. Because Uni Norori has been pretty open about who inspires them, and the names they mention, honestly, say everything. Ken Sugimori, Kagemaru Himeno. If you've been around Pokemon long enough, you know exactly what those names mean. Sugimori is basically the artist who defined what Pokemon looks like. The OG artist, the OG illustrator. The original 151, that classic watercolor style. And Himeno gave us some of the most beloved card art in the entire history of the game. These are the artists who built the look that an entire generation grew up on. And then there's one more name Uni Norori points to. Akira Toriyama, the legend behind Dragon Ball and Dragon Quest. And once you know that, it clicks. That sense of motion, that energy in the poses, the feeling like the character is about to leap right off the card. That's the Toriyama influence shining through. So when I say Uni Norori's art feels familiar, this is exactly why. They're not copying anyone, but they're clearly carrying something forward, something that a lot of us have loved since we were kids. And honestly, I think that's exactly why Uninori matters, because right now, Pokemon card art is going in 100 different directions. We've got hyper detailed digital art, we've got wild experimental stuff, we've got every style you can imagine. And then in the middle of that, there's Uninori, quietly pulling things back towards where it all started. That classic, handcrafted 90s Pokemon feeling. Not as some throwback gimmick, but as their actual natural style. On cards coming out right now, in packs you can open today, and there's something kind of beautiful about that. That the look so many of us fell in love with isn't just stuck in the past. It's still here, being carried forward by somebody new. So let's look at a few of these cards. This is the Team Rocket's Nidoking EX from Destined Rivals. And this one might be my favorite example of everything we just talked about. Look at the energy in it, the pose, the drama, the style. It feels powerful, but it also feels classic, like it could belong to any era of Pokemon and still fit right in. Then there's Raging Bolt EX from Prismatic Evolutions. This is probably the card most people think of first when they hear the name Uninori. A powerful Pokemon with art that absolutely earns the spotlight. And then there's this one, the Meowth from Phantasmal Flames. And we'll come back to this one in a second, because this one's personal to me. And across their whole catalog, right now, sitting at around 24 cards, you keep seeing that same thread. Familiar Pokemon, drawn with this energy that makes them feel brand new again. And here's a little detail I love. Uninori also draws cards for Pokemon TCG Pocket, the mobile game. One of them is Hoot Hoot. Now here's the cool part. Hoot Hoot is Ken Sugimori's own favorite Pokemon, the artist Uninori looks up to most. And here's Uninori getting to draw it themselves. I don't know if that was on purpose or just a happy coincidence, but for an artist whose whole style is a love letter to Sugimori, that's a pretty perfect full circle moment. Now, I'll be honest with you about something. When it comes to Uninori the person, there isn't a whole lot out there. No big interviews, no detailed life story, just an artist quietly putting work into the world, mostly letting the art speak for itself. And honestly, I kind of love that. There's something fitting about it. An artist whose whole style is about the classic, humble, old school Pokemon feeling, just letting the cards do the talking. Sometimes the mystery is part of the charm. And that brings me to why this one's personal for me. For me, Uninori is the closest thing we have right now to that original Ken Sugimori style. And that really hits something in me. Their art makes me feel completely nostalgic, like I did back when Pokemon had just come out, when every single card felt like a little piece of something brand new. I've actually got two favorites, and I genuinely can't pick between them. One is the Meowth illustration rare from Phantasmal Flames. The other is that Team Rocket Nidoking EX, the special illustration rare from Destined Rivals. Both of them just feel right to me, like they both belong in the era that made me fall in love with this hobby in the first place. So that's Uninori, an artist who spent years on the outside just trying to get in, and is now making some of the most nostalgic art in the entire modern TCG. And the next time you pull one of their cards, don't just glance at it and move on. Stop for a second. Look at the colors. Look at the energy. And look at how much of that classic, old school Pokemon feeling they managed to pack into something brand new. Because we're not looking back at Uninori's career. We're watching it begin. And honestly, I can't wait to see where it goes. If you've got a favorite Uninori card, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'd love to see which one is yours. Thank you guys so much. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please hit us with a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching and giving me your time, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.